Okay. Hopefully my audio is working now. I had something going on over here. Let me know if you can hear me. Hey, Sharky. Oh, whoa. Okay, I see comments. Hey, King of Kill. Is there sound now? Hello, Sharky. Hello, Real Talk with Retta. Hey. Let's see. KB, welcome. Shout out to my members. Teddy and KB are in the chat. Hello, Darren. Hey, Tech King. Okay, let me see if there's volume. Audio's good? Okay, cool. Y'all know the struggle. Okay, so this is what I was about to say. I have to get into this conversation because listen, I've talked about on this channel, I am not against interracial dating, interracial relationships. I support it 100%, right? Especially if it's right with the right people, with the right intentions in mind. It's not from a place where, oh, I don't like this whole group of people, so I'm just going to date you because I assume that you're different. Or I just like your skin tone, right? Or whatever those weird reasons are. But this is what I've been seeing trending this month. And it's getting weird. It just really seems like there is this crazy obsession with people either 100% for interracial dating or they're 100% against interracial dating, and they're tracking it. And so when there's someone seemingly not even a person that we would be so crazy about them dating someone, like, of course we follow celebrities and who they're dating, whatever, but just regular ordinary business people, I don't know, they're not like the top A-list celebrities. It's starting to get a little weird. Anywho, so I want to talk about John Boyega. I hope that's how you pronounce his name. Most people know him from Star Wars, and then he's the actor that played in the Woman King. He made a statement that I wasn't even going to talk about it at first because I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's good for you. But he says, I only date Black, right? He says it during an interview. And I'm going about my life. But on YouTube and on the news, folks are talking about the Huffington Post, Independent, the Daily Mail, Yahoo News, Trending, Telegraph are actually reporting on an actor saying he dates people that look like him. And then I also saw a report saying that white women were mad about it. Listen, I'm not on Twitter. I don't follow Twitter like that. I'm not constantly going back and forth. Plus, I have a job. I have things to do during the day. Can't just follow this stuff. But to hear those type of statements that one is trending, to even see an article that says, let me see what this title was, because that's what got me. And I was just like, are we serious? But I want to talk about that. I also have to talk about Aunt Karen, because then we have another angle with that whole scenario. And then we got to talk about Jack Dorsey with this beautiful Black woman. I don't know if they're actually dating, but there's pictures circulating. So, of course, people have to run with that. Anyway, it's just very strange to me. And I'm wondering how in the world did we even get here where this is news. This is actually news and has people up at arms and posting just really different angles here. Okay. Let me see if I can find the article that I was looking at earlier. It had a really weird title. Like he was doing something wrong by saying that he dates Black women. And it's like, but he's Black. And actually, I believe he's Nigerian. And I remember a long time ago, I had this work friend and she was dating a guy who was Nigerian. And she was a little upset. She's Jewish. She's like married and whatever. But she opened up and was like, yeah, she had shared she was dating this guy, whatever. Update was that he said he couldn't date her seriously because he wants to date a Nigerian woman. So certain cultures, like you would think about that with Indian culture as well. Like I wouldn't blink an eye if an Indian girl or Indian guy was like, yeah, I want to date an Indian person, right? Or a Jewish person was like, oh, I want to date another Jewish person. I wouldn't blink an eye, like, oh, okay, that's cool, right? In the Black community, there are Black people in our community that say, look, I only want to date a Black person. Now, where I have the issue is where people are like, they're saying, oh, I'm attracted to this person. I would date them, but I'm afraid of the backlash that I'm going to get from my community. And I'm just like, do whatever you want to do. Is your life. Who cares about these other people, right? Anywho, my issue with this is, how is this making news, and how has he actually gotten backlash for it? The other question I have with folks is, how did we get to a point where there could even be highlights where white women would be upset at a Black man saying he dates only Black women? I feel like that was set up by Black men, because if, I've been told that I'm better than this whole group, I'm so much better for so many years, that's kind of that's the scenario that we're in, right? Probably they are going to get upset when they hear something shocking like, what? I'm not the preference anymore? Listen, I have to think about it. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'm not that surprised that there were some women, obviously not all white women even care or even know who he is, but to hear that whole angle, it's just very strange. Okay, let me get into the comments because I've been talking. Darren says he's watching for Toronto. Thank you for watching. Let me see. Loud and clear. Thank you all for confirming the audio. Nice to see you as well. It's great to see you here. And hello, much love to Canada. 3000 Degrees says hello. He's saying hello to everybody. It's hilarious. Becky can't take rejection. Well, and King of Kill, but here's my point. And this is why I think some people are not going to agree, which is fine. But if there's a segment of Black men that are saying, jumping on podcasts left and right, making toast saying, yeah, more, relationships with white women, and they're the best, and this is why, and this, all of that, and you're hearing this narrative, right? And out of the blue, someone says something against that narrative that you've been hearing. Whose fault is it that there are even women that would be angry about that? That's my point. Sharky says yes, Twitter can be extremely toxic. Oh my, that's why I'm not on there. I'm like, no thanks. I'm good. So yeah, you're not missing much. Thank you. Those dark-skinned Indian women. Beautiful, right? Right? I mean, there's some beautiful, this is why I'm just like, okay, interracial dating, it's fine, but we're at the point where we're literally obsessed. So let me move on. I didn't find the article. I felt like there was this headline. I feel like I'm going to see it after this whole live stream ends. I'm going to be like, oh, that was it. That was the thing. And it's probably just hidden by one of these ads. The ads are crazy over all these sites. There was one, the Huffington Post did have an article that said, John Boyega only dates Black women, get over it, right? And there was some, I don't know who the writer is. It says Ruth Etiesid Samuel. Let me see who this is. It looks like a woman of color, but she titled it, Get Over It. Yes, it's a Black woman. And she's a culture reporter at the HuffPost. She said, the title was, yes, he dates Black women, get over it. Which is who cares? Are we now mad at white men when they date white women? Which is why I need to get into Aunt Karen, because she had a post that was trending on Instagram. And I thought that Aunt Karen really just called out acts of racism, right? She's called Aunt Karen, right? Because she was calling out all the Karens. And different people just doing different racist things. The last thing I'd seen before was a calling out of this man. It looked like he was an Asian man who had a Black face mask on. And the trend that was happening with The Little Mermaid, where these young, these beautiful Black girls were so happy to see, finally a Disney princess that they like, right? And she was Black, and she's, you know, she is Holly Bailey. She's playing in The Little Mermaid. And he mocks that because they were going, looking at the TV and going like, oh, that looks like me and all of this. And he puts on a black mask and does the same thing in a mocking way. Now, she tracked down, I guess, along with her team or people that she connects with, she tracked down that person. That is what I think most people like Aunt Karen and her TikTok and her Instagram for. She called out something that was just, maybe I'm missing something. You all will have to help me because I'm missing it. I saw the post and I was like, okay. I'm just like, all right, that's fine. I didn't get it. So let me share this. I'm just gonna pull it up. Oh, wait, okay, wait. I just found the Boyega title. So I'm actually gonna share this one, then we'll get into Aunt Karen. Because I thought that was weird too. I don't fault anyone for, you know, if they say they don't date Black women, okay, that's fine. Date women that look like you, right? The only time that I see that it really gets weird is when you're a Black person and you adamantly proclaim that, you know, Blackness is something you want to get away from in terms of dating. Like that is your anti, but it's like, but it's you. So you don't like you. You don't want to procreate a version of you by any means necessary. Like you will do whatever it takes to not. Okay. If it happens organically, like you just happen to fall in love with someone that doesn't look like you, that's beautiful. We're all people. Like at the end of the day, whatever. But that's where I have the issue is people going out of their way to say basically the opposite gender of their same race is all of these terrible things, and that's why they cannot date them. It's just very strange. KB says it's kind of funny that he says this when a movie he is featuring is about to come out. The neg is into another point that I was thinking of. I was gonna wait. But we know that people are so obsessed, right? And so if you talk about Black women and a Black man actually dating a Black woman is considered this controversial type of thing, right? But how did we get here? That's the question I want you all to answer. How did we actually get here to a point where this could be making, folks are saying it's a political statement, folks have outrage about it, like how? Anywho, I keep losing it. I keep finding it and losing it, and I find this one. It's just very strange that we're even in this predicament. So the title says, John Boyega's I Only Date Black stance exposes the elite's hypocrisy on race. I can't help imagining the reaction from modern progressives as a white actor were to say something similar. I'm just like, really? What is the difference between saying, oh, I only date, you know, Black women versus I'm sure men have said, I only date blondes, right? I only date tall women. I only date, in the words of Drake, BBW, right? What is the difference really? The issue is really for me only when someone's going, oh, I don't date all those Black women because of fill in the blank negative stereotype or negative, you know, story that they want to portray about us, right? Anywho. Okay, let me find what I was actually going to share. But let me know, how do you think all of this actually started? How do we get here? Where a man can't even say, hey, if he's asked about it, I only date this. And then also, to KB's point, did he just do this so he can get some clout and get people talking about him? Because if you say something like this, you're going to get talked about, okay? All right, let me find Aunt Karen's Instagram so we can get into her scenario too. Because let me know if I'm missing something here, because I could just not be understanding where she's coming from. I think I get what she's saying, but I just don't see it as a big deal in terms of her type of content where she's calling out racist. I don't get why this man was really highlighted from my perspective. So let me know. We're going to play this video so you all can see what she's saying.
So this guy has made a show of going on a date with a woman from every state. And let me just show you why he's getting a lot of hate. I think it's fair to say that my guy has a type, but here's what really makes me mad. This is the girl he went on a date with from Hawaii. Like, sir, what you not finna do? You not finna play us, sir. You not finna play us, sir. Then this is the girl he went on a date with from New Mexico, who is actually, if you look on her Instagram, from Long Island. So, sir, if you have a type, you didn't even have to go across 50 states for that. Like, you really just dated the same girl in every single state. Like, where is the seasoning? Let me know y'all thoughts in the comments, because I'm feeling like this was unnecessary. So this guy.
Okay, so she ends it with saying she felt like it was unnecessary. For me, what I feel was unnecessary was her calling it out. Like, yes, obviously he has a type. Just like if I were to, which I don't think I would want to do this necessarily, but if I were to go to, listen, I'm not about to travel 50 states looking for a man. Let's say I went to, I would just say 3 states, right? I went to 3 states, and I tend to like tall men, you know, make me feel a little secure. And I'm 5'5", so you know, obviously, a lot of people are taller than me. Um, but you know, that type. I like a little chiseled face, a little, you know, sometimes a little scruffy. You know, I like Jason Momoa, and I think the main thing is the scruff. I like a little scruff. I think Chadwick Boseman, if I get his name right, I liked him. I also like Paul Walker, and he wasn't super scruffy, but I liked when he had a little bit of facial hair. May he also rest in peace. That was a beautiful man. Just saying. But let's say I found, you know, men that basically they all happen to be black men. They're all black men, and I went to these different states. Do you really think someone's gonna call me out and say, ma'am, you went to New Mexico and he looks the same. How did you find a black man in New Mexico? All these other people. You went to Hawaii, ma'am. You did not bring home a Hawaiian man. Do you really think someone's gonna call me out for that? I really only think that this was called out because there's this other end of the obsession, right? Where the folks that aren't really into the interracial relationships, which that's fine. We got to have differences here, right? We can't, everyone just, I don't know if everyone's just going to go, oh, we're just going to intermingle. It obviously is going to happen. We're all together. We're not, especially in the US, we're a melting pot. But some people have a type that looks similar to them, and that's okay. But I feel like he was just called out because he's a white man, and there's this push to, you know, get the swirl going, get this swirl going. It's just like this other video that I saw of this man. It happened to be a black man, and this girl went viral on TikTok. She was walking. It was a white girl, and these men were harassing her. She's at the bus station. You know how that is if you're a girl, if you're alone at a subway or whatever. I think this was LA. Actually, I know it was LA because the guy yelled at the end because she didn't want to talk to him. Now, aside from the point that this was a very young girl, he should not have been talking with her. He actually pushed something like, oh, you know, you're not into black guys? Like, why do you want to talk to us? You don't like black guys? I'm just like, what does that have to do with you being a grown man trying to talk to this girl? Like, don't try to guilt her into talking to you. So it's like this, now you gotta guilt people into dating them. Like, it just seems weird. And that's what I was getting from Aunt Karen. I don't think she meant it. I feel like she was probably jumping on a trend. At least I thought that. But then she doubled down because I believe Nicki Minaj called her out and was like, more so on my side of, okay, who cares? Let this man do him. Let him do him, right? Let him pick. If he's picking the same type of girl, let him pick the same type of girl, because what they have called him out for, all the girls being thin. They look to be all thin. Did you all notice that? They're all thin. So are we going to get mad at him for that? If I like men that are tall, are we going to get mad because I'm not super interested in very short men? We're literally obsessed that this man can't just make a post of like, hey, I dated all these girls, or for whatever reason it was, right? And I'm sure he got the clout that he wanted. But seriously, this is where we are today. I didn't understand that. But let me know if I'm missing something. If you understood something that I didn't, I get it. I get the whole, oh, you went to New Mexico and only, you found a white girl from Long Island. Oh, you went to Hawaii and you didn't find a Hawaiian girl. Like, but if he has a type, of course he's going to gravitate to his type. Just like if I go into a room and there are, I don't know, plenty of white, Hispanic, and Asian people, I may just gravitate to the one black person in the room. Right? Just like with men and women, like if there's a room full of men, I actually know I will gravitate to the one woman in the room, because I'm going to be like, what in the, or I'm more likely is I'm going to leave. I'm like, wait, I don't want to be a part of this, whatever's going on in here. But just that thinking, right? This is where we are today. Okay, let me look at the comments, then we're going to get into the next topic. Sharky said, I do have thoughts about some white and Jewish women, but the difference is I don't shout them from the rooftops on social media. Sharky, this comment right here, you see that difference? Do you see that difference? Not going to shout it from the rooftops, not jumping on podcasts at any chance they get. Thank you. Because yes, I feel like every group, like I've heard different things about every group. I've heard Asian women complain about Asian men. I've heard white women complain about white men. Have I heard white men complain about white women? I don't think so. Maybe I have. I don't know. On social media, I have once or twice. I can't really think of anyone, but maybe it has been more than that. I've even heard Indian women complain about Indian men. Like, we all have complaints. It's men and women. Like, we're trying to do things together. We're different. So, of course, there's going to be some complaints, right? But I just have to note Sharky's point right there. That was key. KB is saying, Lord, not that confused lady again. You know what? I think she has a good purpose. I think the reasons that she calls things out, but sometimes it's just, I don't know. He didn't proclaim it randomly. He said he asked what his type. Yes, he was. It was like an interview. They were talking about dating, right? And it was with that one lady. She's a white woman that's a comedian. Amy Schumer and someone else, some other woman and a guy. Anyway. Hi, Maggie. Maggie Noodles vlog. Interesting. I'm gonna have to check that out later. It's dinner time, right? She's reaching. I was thinking so too. Okay, so y'all agree with me. So you're Royal Oats queen. Oh, thanks. Okay, y'all agree with me. Okay, because I was like, am I missing something? What is going on? Only 4 states? Are you only driving? You want to pick me up? I'm not picking up men in my car. No. I mean, listen, for me, why would I, if I'm traveling different states, it's just for fun. I'm not on the prowl, right? If I were to date in 50 states, they would mostly be sisters. Thank you, King of Kill. Like, I didn't understand how you're calling out this white guy and making it seem like he's doing something racist. Like, he's not doing anything racist. He found his type in every state and he, shared it with the world. Right? I mean, there were some differences in the women, right? There were a few with shorter hair, long hair. They were all thin, it looked like. They were all pretty. I don't really get the problem. It's crazy. Mister, you finding a sister in Utah? King of kill. Right. I don't know about Utah. I've never been there. I've seen that video. The other men should have called the offending dude out. Okay, so Sharky, you've seen that video. I talked about it on my channel because I was just in awe. Of course, my members already, you can see that anytime, but it's in the membership vault. But yes, I did cover that. Those were a lot of baddies, though. Well done. Right. They looked good. They were good looking women. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on because we have to get into the other topic. And then we're going to get off of here. And then I'm going to talk about, you know, our favorite sports person. Taylor Rooks had pictures with Jack Dorsey. And apparently just in the black blogs and media, like this is, I guess, a thing. This is important. And we should know about it, right? I mean, I love it because she looks beautiful. And Jack Dorsey is, well, one, he's a billionaire. He is the owner of Square, which Square owns Cash App. And he also, I think, still currently owns Twitter. I know they were trying to do that deal with Elon Musk. I don't know how that I don't know how that panned out. But yeah, so this guy, I mean, and he's super chill. Like, I think out of all the billionaires, I could see him, that's weird to say, like I could kind of see him dating outside of his race because of just, I feel like he has a very global mindset. He seems to have more inclusive mindset, but folks are saying that he is, there's an issue with this. There is a clear issue here. And so I want to highlight it. What people are saying on Twitter. I don't know, because I didn't know about this. Do you all know anything about Jack Dorsey and any ties that he has to any groups that are anti-Black? I'll just say it like that. Let me take this down and stop sharing. And then I did have more on Boyega because, let me pause. I gotta go back to Boyega now that I'm sharing the Twitter stuff. So let's look at Taylor Rooks and then we gotta go back to Boyega. But this is, I had to search it because y'all know I'm not on here. Let me refresh. Hopefully it doesn't change everything. Okay. So this post, this is the question I have for you all. Since when is dating someone outside of your race meaning that you can't be pro-Black? Because let's say I date and marry a white man, right? Let's just say that happens. Are we now going to say I can't speak on any Black issue ever because I married white? But I'm still Black, right? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. But this post says, this is from TC Alter Realty TO, I guess is their name. Just 2 years ago, Taylor Rooks was flying Pan-African colors and wearing African pendants. And now she's dating Jack Dorsey, aka the suspected white supremacist co-founder of Twitter. How many times are we going to see this story? So one, I don't know that about Jack Dorsey. I've never heard that. I know Twitter itself because of the openness of the platform, like wanting everyone to have free speech, right? There have been questions, right, because of who gets to speak. But him as a person, I don't think I've ever heard that. So you tell me what I don't know. First of all, like, she's really pretty. I had to use that picture because I was like, I mean, he looks fine. I don't love the facial hair. I could, like, no. Like, he'd have to shave that. Like, I like a little stubble. That to me, I just imagine face burn or something. Like, anyway, I'm thinking too hard on that. But I was like, oh, well, she looks good. And I think he looks nice without this. He looks fine without that. I don't like that. Anywho, someone else says, I do not know who Taylor Rooks is. She's a sports journalist. But I wish both of them well and hope they last. I like Jack Dorsey. Okay. Then we get into is Taylor Rooks getting Jack Dorsey to break himself and come up off that paper, or is this just plain, oh, you can see that? And then we got, a good meme, right? Or a good GIF. Taylor Rooks was with Jack Dorsey while tweeting Black empowerment. So that's what I would want people to do. I see the issue as being, I haven't really seen this with Black women, but I'm sure there's Black women that, date white and all of a sudden they're, maybe it's Stacey Dash, right? Would she be a good example? Where there no Black anything. We're in this community now, whatever. That's your choice, right? There's also Black men that have been in power. I'm trying to think of this man's name and I can't think of it. He's a district attorney, but they're also, Black men that they're in the white community, leave the Black community behind. They're not helping their brothers. They're not helping. No, we're over here now. Adios. You'd rather that scenario? I don't understand. Maybe that's why people do that, because they're getting the backlash. So I could see you're getting all this backlash and hate from your own people just because you fell in love with someone that is not the same race as you. And now you can't do anything. So then, for me, listen, I'm not going to fight you to help you. So, okay, well, I'll just relax over here then. Have a nice life. That's fine. Whatever. Is that why people do that? It brings the question, because really, we can't be Black empowerment anymore. Someone else said Jack Dorsey pulled Taylor Rooks. I mean, he's a billionaire. Come on, and he's a good-looking billionaire too. He's not. A lot of the billionaires are not young. Just putting that out there. And I think she's like 30 or 31, maybe. I looked up her age earlier. Anywho, I don't get that. Oh, and her, this person says El Carne del Sur. El Carne del Sur. Taylor Rooks was with Jack Dorsey on her 30th. It's over, fellas. Okay. But I don't know if they're like, are they officially dating? Or they're seen together. Maybe they're friends. Who knows? But I do feel like they are dating because they did look a little cuddled up right here in these pictures. Like I had opened them earlier. Anyway. All right. So what do y'all think? Let's see. What are y'all saying? Because I'm like, whatever. Ted says, of course, women are going to complain about men. Right. And men are going to complain about women too. Like men and women complain about each other, but I definitely hear women complaining more typically. And Black women complain about Black men too, right? I mean, when you compare to other groups of men, and that's the thing. We're comparing to other groups of men and our experiences with, if I dated this guy and he was like this, well, why aren't you like that, right? So it will happen. How do you feel about the Donald Glover type saying the sisters are not into them and they end up with white women? I don't think it's that Black women are not into him. It's probably the Black women that he wants weren't into him, right? Because typically there's somebody that's into you. It's probably just not the ones that you are looking for, right? Especially depending on what you look like, how your swag is, how your masculinity comes across. And I do feel like I would say women in general, but definitely Black women, I do feel like we have to feel like you're masculine in some way, right? You have to be masculine. Not speaking for all Black women, of course, but I don't know if Donald Glover really gives off super masculine. I've questioned if he might be more feminine than masculine on the spectrum, because there's a spectrum, right? No one's just like, oh, I'm 100% masculine, 100% feminine. We kind of run a spectrum. We talked about this. If you're a member, you have access to that in the vault. But yeah, I could believe some of it, because yeah, the Black women that he were into probably weren't into him at the time. If he's saying that, I got to take him at his word. But I'm sure there were Black women that were into him. He just wasn't, probably just wasn't into them. And Josh, you're right. I saw the video on your channel. Okay, Sharky, there you go. Hey, Vibes, how are you? Hopefully you're doing good. He got a goatee, the real deal. Right. Let's see. Can a person be pro-Black while married to the fruits of the oppressor? It's a question, right? But I don't think, or at least I don't think people should date people if they're showing signs that they are obviously racist or anything, because I'm not going to sit up here and say, just because a white man chooses to date me as a Black woman, well, I'm a pretty woman. I mean, okay, it's up to me to really listen to the person and get their intentions. What's their interest in me? What is their communication like? How do they treat other people? Like, in general, I'm gonna question that of any person, because there are Black men, because we have to bring up this conversation. What about Black men that are anti-Black? Right? They're like the epitome of Terry Crews in that White Chicks movie. I saw that like a couple of weeks ago again, and I was just like, man, that movie it's crazy. But the Wayans brothers, they were low key really going in on those type of men, where they just ooze anti-Blackness, whereas there are some white men and women that promote and help and support and try to do whatever they can for these different communities, Black, Asian, Hispanic, or whatever, as much as they can. Meanwhile, you do have different folks that are anti-Black and they're Black. So I have to look at it by person. I'm not one of the folks that say, hey, you have to be, a Black man to date me. That, I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at, am I attracted to you? Because let's be honest, like I'm attracted to, different types of men, but there's kind of, levels to this. There's levels. And like most people, some people are very strict and they're like, I only date blondes, like an Elon Musk, right? I feel like Elon Musk is like, I date thin blondes. That's kind of his type. Whereas a lot of other people, they see beauty in different forms, right? So, it's really just up to the person's character, their personality. Do we get along? What are your values? How do you treat people? All of that comes out when you're dating. Are you just a fun person to be around? Or are you just dry? Do you not want to do anything? Or all of that goes into play. Like, the first thing on my list isn't Black, check. And there are some women that they go even further, where the man has to be dark, very dark skin for them to date them too. I have heard that. For me, I've never been that way either. I've seen, like, Drake to me is attractive when I don't like that whole braid thing he's doing so much. But I liked him when he was thinner. I liked him when he was a little chubby. I like Drake. It might have to do with his voice, though. It might just be that voice. Might be that voice, because I like a nice. Sometimes you hear a voice and then you see the person and you're like, oh, but that voice can catch you too sometimes. Anywho, we're getting off topic. Ted says, what is the name of that movie turned Netflix series that addressed this? I have no idea. You got to tell me. I don't know. I canceled Netflix. I canceled my Netflix. I wasn't watching anything anymore. KB says, it doesn't make sense. I've been told that if you're pro-Black but marry a white man, then you're not pro-Black, because you would have dated a Black man. Okay. But if a pro-black man dates a non-black woman, then it's okay. Yeah, I don't get that either. It's definitely there's a double standard. I I think that there's always going to be this double standard for women, for black women, because when you look at other communities, I am not seeing it, but I'm also not 100% a part of these communities, right? Because there are conversations within, Indian culture, Asian culture, different cultures where the standard is you're dating someone within your culture, right? Just like, for example, with Nigerian culture, I wasn't phased by Boyega at all when I was like, oh, Nigerian, okay, yeah. that 100% makes sense. I was just surprised that a black man said it, which is weird. We're literally in a climate where the surprise is that, you do date women that look like you. Oh, okay. That's surprising. That's different. Like the fact that we have to be in that type of climate is sad. But it's a norm in most cultures, and it's more so honestly a focus on the men. Right? The men are typically making sure that there's like more pressure on the men normally. I don't know. It's weird. At least that's my take. You all let me know if I'm wrong on that. I think I have to push back because I am like, my voice is going out. I'm like, I think I'm gonna have to push back the Brett Favre. I keep messing up this man's name. I think I'm gonna have to push back the Brett Favre. Lord, Favre conversation to tomorrow because I planned on having that at 8:00 Central. Pro-black is for your people, but not hating on other races. Thank you. And here's the thing, getting back to this. Listen, here's the thing with black women that date maybe white men and black men that date white women or other cultures of women. Really, I think it's kind of opposite to think that the women would be, anti-black or wouldn't be able to be pro-black. Because what happens when, let's say, a woman marries a man, typically men have that short lifespan. 75 is about average, right? 75 or 77. Women, I think it's like 85. So we got a good 10 years over you all. So what happens when this man passes on? Let's say he has some money, he leaves it on, and this woman now has the money. She's donating to different organizations. For the woman, depending on her race and her culture, oftentimes she's going to give back to that community. So I, as a black woman, naturally, maybe the NCAAP, like, I don't know, Negro College Fund, like something like that would likely be what I would give back to. If I was a Latino woman, I may be giving to Latina scholarships or something. Like that is a natural thing to do. For the black men, what happens to their money? And we could talk about a lot of those big divorce cases where a big chunk of money just goes right back into this other community. And we're wondering why. I'm not blaming that solely, but we do wonder why are we not really progressing? There's a number of things, but when you're constantly funneling your money outside the community in different ways, how are you going to get anywhere, right? Anyway, just my thoughts. But I think the double standard is ridiculous. I say black women, you can be pro-black and date different groups of men. Obviously, black men have to be careful. We've seen, what was a man that was, I can't say the word. He was unalived by his girlfriend who was white. And there's been other scenarios where you kind of see a woman has racist tendencies or they're racist and they have children and they're teaching those children, those mixed race children, these principles. And so you do have to consider these things when you're dating. The same for black women. Like, yeah, there's cases, I can't think of anything right now. I don't know why I'm blanking, but I know there are cases where a black woman's dating a white man that turns out to be part of some kind of white supremacy group or something. Like I've heard these different stories, but just like you would try to see if a man has a good character and he's not gonna attack you in your sleep, or do anything wild and crazy. It's the same way you approach anyone else. I really don't see a difference. I see men as men. Like, you're all men. I have to kind of figure you out to see if I can trust you. Of course, the look of you is going to draw me in and whatever vibes I feel. But from there, this is a whole little, I won't say interrogation, but this is an interview at this point. I need to figure out, I need to figure some things out, right? Anywho, and I do want to make a video. We have to talk about, there's this other trend, because getting into this obsession with interracial dating, there's this other subset of Black women that I've come across on YouTube that's kind of making this view of white men or Asian men like they're perfect. They're not going to be perfect, but you have to consider the culture that different men grow up in, right? So if you look at Black culture and what Black boys see and what they're aspiring to, like Nick Cannon in Future, and that's what they're aspiring to be, well, there's going to be a lot of that if that's kind of what they're pushed to do. Whereas if other groups of, other cultures are promoting their boys to be like, I don't know who, Jeff Bezos, which he has his own issues, right? But he grew up, he had his family and whatever, and had his millions or billions, and he's an entrepreneur. So a little bit more positive, right, is what I'm getting at. But at the end of the day, men are men. Men are going to be men. So you just got to pick the one that's best for you. Teddy says the Umar Johnsons of the world believe that you truly aren't pro-Black if you marry outside of your race, because to them, both parents have to be Black for the family to truly be Black. I agree. This might be the first time I'm agreeing with something about Dr. Umar, because I need to see his certification, first of all, because all I hear with that man, and I never hear an actual point and a result of whatever he's saying. And I am wondering about, where is the school? Like, where is the school? The only thing I've ever seen him do is be in the casino, gambling, talking about, give me some donations, and ranting on different videos. Anywho, but with this point, I will say, Teddy, I agree to a point. The point that you say the family would not be technically Black. Well, yeah, if I were to marry, let's say Asian man, I'm gonna switch it up this time. So I marry Asian man, we have a baby. Black genes can be strong, white genes can be strong, Asian genes can be very strong. The baby comes out, they look Asian. You look at the baby, no one thinks they're Black. Well, they're mixed race, of course. They're not going to look exactly like me. They're going to be mixed race. They could look like me exactly. That's possible. But they also look exactly like the dad, genetics and all that good stuff. So I do agree with that point. But in terms of the pro-Black, what happens? I get married to a white guy and then the Black just poof, gone. Up, you're married now. You Black card taken. Nope, you're out. Kicked out. We just took all the melanin. Actually, it just seeps out of your skin at that point. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm being silly. Ted says, as far as a billionaire looks go, he is cuter than Jay-Z. Ted says he's cuter than Jay-Z, uglier than William's husband. Alexis Ohanian. I don't know. I guess I'll have to look at him again. I think he probably looks better than Alexis Ohanian to me. Again, I think Jack Dorsey is cool. I don't like this whole scenario. I don't like your facial hair being all the way down there. Yeah, I don't know. Alexis Ohanian looks nice, but he's just not he wouldn't be my type, I don't think. I'm thinking about him and I don't think he's my type. Jay-Z, people go in on Jay-Z. I don't know why. I don't think he looks that bad, but he's not he wouldn't be a supermodel. He's not terrible looking. People go in on Jay-Z like he's grotesque. He just looks like a Black man with very Black features. I don't know. To me, He's not my type. I'll go ahead and say that, but I don't think he looks like the boogeyman or anything. Vital says, Tariq Nasheed, foundational Black Americans speak differently on that, especially on reparations. Black is who family had a slave family. What y'all think? I don't know if I understand that fully. Tariq Nasheed, foundational Black Americans speak differently on that. KB says that Black people have trouble gatekeeping because if they're biracial women, then they consider the Black. Yes. It's not the same. It's not the same. That's very true. So, and that's the only point that I do agree with. Like, if you have a biracial child, you have a biracial child, right? KB, I feel that. Hey, Harold, it's nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. What do you think about all this shenanigans? I've never heard Dorsey was a racist, but of course it's possible. He's a crypto nut, some of whom are low-key extreme right-wingers. But I wouldn't assume he's racist without evidence. Interesting. Okay, I gotta push. Let me edit this other video. I have to push this back. Let's do this. Since I feel like this is a good conversation, but I also want to talk about this other thing, and I want to get through the comments. So I'm gonna push this to tomorrow, our conversation about Brett Favre. Sorry for anyone that was looking forward to it tonight. Unless y'all really want to talk about it tonight, we can, but. Okay, let me see. Oh, wow. Okay. So, yeah, without evidence, I don't have any evidence that I honestly would be surprised. I don't think everyone in the crypto space is a right winger. It's very diverse types of people. Ted says, if a Black woman must divest and date white men, let them be the Ohanian type. I want that for my sisters. Tall, white, handsome billionaires. It would be my forgive. Yeah, I love it. Listen, I think you find a man, he's good to you. I don't care what color he is, honestly. I think it's good. I think it's a good thing. Thriving. I mean, what the double standard is that, the double standard is that Black men can do this freely. No one has a problem with it. What is the big deal? Okay, I'm lying. I'm gonna try to get through the Wolf. I'm gonna get through the Brett Favre thing tonight. I'm just gonna push it to 8:30 because I just realized tomorrow I can't. I can't. Anywho, Harold says 61-year-old. You're 61, Harold? How did I not know that? I didn't know you were 61. You're almost retired. Hey, share that share that AARP card. I can't even get it out. Share that AARP card and those benefits. Congratulations to you and you, Harold. You're going to be retired soon. I promise. What's up with everybody today? Hey, Miss Queen T. Hey, Crewgasm. How are you? I have nothing against it. I actually prefer that type of relationship if it came about. You prefer what type of relationship, Crewgasm? Cool Gamer's in here. Hey, Cool Gamer. Sharky says, Ted is tall, white, handsome, but not yet a billionaire. Okay, hint, hint. Okay, Sharky. Not yet a billionaire. I gotcha. Just got to get that billionaire check, Okay, so I want to close it out. I did want to share this thing. I wanted to share the tweets from Boyega. Not this. Hold on. Because I did want to show these tweets about Boyega. Because this is the other thing that I was just like, what? But yeah, I'm a balanced person. I think this is all crazy on all fronts. We're not about to force people to have to date someone outside of what they like. But I also don't think we have to see, I have to share this with you all too. We don't have to see you complaining about what you don't like. Like, you do realize you get more of what you don't like if you focus on it. Okay, so hopefully you can see the screen. This is the Twitter feed that I was seeing earlier, which made me go, what? So someone said, Unbothered said John Boyega loving and appreciated dark-skinned Black women. Okay, cool, right? That's a normal reaction. Then you got people, you were lucky to see this melanated man up close speaking about how melanated the women are and the woman king. I don't know what they're trying to say. This is how they should be uplifting us every day. Random. What is this? Wait a minute. What is this? This is random. I don't think this is what I was seeing earlier. This is not what I was seeing earlier. Hold on. Let me refresh. I'm like, what is that? This may not be what I was trying to look at. Hold on. Okay, wait. Okay, this is it. Just kidding. Removing, resharing. So I'm like, what is that thing? It was like a turkey on top of a candy pizza or something. I don't know. Okay, I think this one might be it. If it's not, then I'm just going to give up. Okay, so this is the one that I was just like, what? I don't understand. So this person saying, John Boyega saying he only dates Black women is a breath of fresh air. Most Black men date on the brown paper bag. This is the type of climate we're in, right? John Boyega only dates Black women, and they're sharing the YouTube. John Boyega was called racist. They called him racist for saying he prefers to date Black women, but he's Black. And again, if we're in a dynamic where this is happening, I go back to, where did this start? How would someone think that a Black man is racist for saying he only prefers to date Black women? Dominique Samuels reacts to actor. I'm not gonna watch that. No. Someone else says, what's wrong with John Boyega saying he only dated Black women? I don't get it either. I don't get it. What? Someone says women of other races have hit the jackpot knowing third-rate actor John Boyega only dates Black women. Wow. People are really. And this is something I like. Sauce says, why are you talking about Black women here? We're talking about John Boyega, who just simply said he prefers to date women from his own culture. He didn't say anything about any woman from any other culture. Do you fancy John? Right. He didn't go in on he didn't say, oh, because white women treated me this way or Asian women are too this. He didn't say any of that. That's the only way I would say, okay, this person needs to be called out if they're putting down a whole nother group of people just to uplift someone that they like. That's when there's an issue. Boyega saying he only dates Black women is not the same as most white men saying they only date white women. White men are people's god-awful track record where humanity has unfortunately tarnished a lot of things for y'all. Sadly, that's just how the cookie crumbles. Interesting. TL says, I wouldn't hold that against him, Boyega. I only date Black women too. I think he looks like a white guy, but okay. People being okay, so that's the trend, right? Imagine being John Boyega and being attacked for being a Black man and saying that you only date Black women, and people are mad about it. I don't get that at all. Anywho, it's nothing that really, I'm not really gonna celebrate it. I think it's cool, but just let people date who they want to date. I don't know. I don't get the big deal. This is why I'm saying there's an obsession. There's plenty of more posts that we could talk about, but I will wrap it up here. Let's look at the last comments. Oh, I missed a lot of comments. I'm sorry. Wait, let me backtrack. That pizza was a virgin. Oh my gosh. Who's hilarious? What are you all talking about? Ted says, "Dear White People, that's the name of the movie and series. Protagonist was ultra black, but dating a white man on the down low." I don't know if I've seen that. I heard about Dear White People. I just never watched it. Maybe I thought it was for white people. I was like, oh, it's not for me. I listen. I heard about it and I just didn't watch it. I don't watch what a lot of people have trending. I just don't watch it. Okay, I think I've gotten through everything. Wait, no. Harold says beauty is from the inside and shouldn't matter skin color. You are looking at this wrong, baby girl. Wait, you're talking about me? Yeah, I actually agree with you, Harold. Let's see. Trust God, make your path. Okay. Harold is preaching in the chat. Vital says pretty much we got inspiring 50 Cent, Jay-Z, LeBron's, 19 Keys, Wall Street Trapper, Mike Rashid, Dr. Umar is in question. Jay-Z's own wife said, and I quote, "It must be the cash because it ain't your face." I'm just gonna leave that there. I'm not about to talk about Jay-Z. It's just when I see a brother that is out of pocket, there's usually a white wife on his arm. Daniel Cameron. Oh, that's who I was thinking of. That's the guy I was thinking of. The Attorney General. Yes, thank you, Ted. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. Do nothing to help and support Black people. The pizza looked delicious. Okay, let's close it out. What do y'all think? Leave me a comment. I am probably going to slice and dice this video. Please do hit the like button, of course. I haven't decided if I want to put this one in the membership vault, but of course, if you join the membership, you'll still be able to view it. So KB and Teddy will still be able to view, right? What else am I going to say? But I think all of this is weird. Like Aunt Karen calling out that white guy for dating who he likes to date. This whole thing with John Boyega. Why is he getting called out? He dates people that look like him. He dates within his culture. That's fine. That's pretty normal. And Taylor Rooks dating Jack Dorsey. I'm here for it. He's a billionaire. He looks good as long as he's treating her right. I'm sure he is. If they're continuing to date, because I'm sure she has options. Like, look at her. She's gorgeous. So, anywho, that's my take on it. I think we're in this weird place where we have a ton of focus on the wrong things. And it's not just dating, like celebrity dating and being focused on that. It's more of any interracial dating. I do want to close it out with this video because this is, when I say it's just random, regular things, I have talked about this before, but I got to highlight this video because we're at the point where people are doing this, which is pretty insane. But I gotta call it out because I'm like, I'll never let this guy live this down ever. He's never living this down ever because it's weird. Okay, let me pull this up.
This clip.
Check it out, y'all. I'm in the middle of black ass Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, okay? And I'm walking by, because the thing about comedians, just artists, we pay attention to everything. Look it, I just walked past this. Now I know it's a nice little health, it's like, I guess, a health insurance thing, Fidelis Care. Yeah, but there's this white guy and this black woman, okay? There's been a lot of this, even at my bank, they got a black woman with a white guy. It's a lot of black women with white guy shit. You know what I mean? It's what I noticed. But in black ass Brooklyn, all these black people are walking past this. And what are you trying to say? That it's better to get one of these? Get a white guy? And listen, and I don't want any of you interracial motherfuckers that are in an interracial relationship making these stupid ass comments like, what's wrong? Love is love. Like I said, love is love. Yeah. But don't lose your who you are. And a lot of you tend to do that kind of shit. I have a problem with this. Now, first of all, where's the black dude with the white girl? First of all, we started that. Where's the black dude with the white girl? Where's that? No, because you know why? The people who run it look like him and don't want to see that. You know, there should be black dudes with white girls. There's so many of them. But then you got the white dude with the black girl. So, you know, there's probably some black women going, I need to get me one. Yup. I need to get me one. It's like this is security now.
Ooh.
Now I know.
Listen, that's where we are today, where a man in New York City, of all places, where there's, you know, high rent, rats, crime, you name it, all types of things that people can get riled up about, right? He gets riled up randomly because he just saw not an actual interracial couple, which, you know, I've lived in New York. There's plenty of interracial couples, black women, white men, and a mixture of everything else in between that. Like, it's a, you know, very diverse place. So of course it's going to happen. We're intermingling, you find someone, they're different, whatever. It's welcoming, right? He's going off, not because of high rent, not because of the rats, not because of the heat, not because they don't have AC, not because of the snow or whatever. A billboard selling financial services or something with a white man and a black woman in Brooklyn. And then goes on to further say, actually, it should be, where is the black man and the white woman? So what are you upset about? You're not upset that it's an interracial couple. You're just upset that they need to swap genders. You're upset that you're not being promoted in that. Make it make sense. That if someone is going off in the middle of the street after seeing a billboard, we are literally in a place where folks are just obsessed. Like, there's no reason. No reason. So with that, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about this whole scenario. I do think the video will be up today and tomorrow, and then I'll decide on if I want to throw it back into the membership vault. With that, I'm going to close it out. Thank you, lovely people. I do plan on talking about Favre in about 15 minutes, so if you want to be here for that, rejoin me. The link is on my page, and I will see you, lovely people, later. Bye.